Welcome to Fit for Life. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. All we're going to use today is the wall. I would still recommend having a chair close by should you need to sit down and take a break, or we'll be using it for our stretches at the end as usual. But our main stuff today is happening on the wall. So make sure you've got a good patch of wall to do some exercises on. So let's get up and get moving. We're going to start out with our warm-up. If it's your first time joining us, hello, welcome to Fit for Life. My name is Anna. I am a kinesiologist, exercise specialist for the Aspen Primary Care Network here in Westlock. We used to do this class in person here at the Spirit Center, but while we can't meet together in person, we're doing our very best to keep moving and keep motivated from the safety of our own homes. So getting those arms going in your march, knees nice and high as we do our warm-up, get that breath going a little bit quicker, get that heart pumping, joints get nice and lubricated, and we are feeling good. Remember, while we're exercising, that you're listening to your own body. If something hurts, if something doesn't quite feel right, don't push it. Pain does not equal gain, so just sit down, take a break, wait until the next one. Don't do as many of them, whatever it takes. You listen to yourself. The Aspen Primary Care Network is not liable for any injuries or damages that could be incurred during this video, so please stay safe while you're exercising. All right, we're feeling good. I'm going to try and stay on time, and let's do our polka. Nice and light on our toes. Have our jaunty little music here, as usual, which probably isn't at all on my beat with my polka here, but for you at home, you can do it. Okay, nice and light. Feel that breath picking up. Okay, wonderful. Let's do our hip swings. I like to hold on to something for balance. Make sure you're not gonna kick anything in your house here. Nice and loose through those hips. Getting those joints lubricated, like I said. Other side. Got my little cheat sheet here that hopefully matches the list on there. We've got some sunshine on there today. The weather we've been having is really nice, but be careful on those icy patches. Okay. And let's do our shoulders. So a lot of the exercises we do today is going to be really helpful as far as things like posture goes. We have a few really nitty-gritty little exercises to do. Get those circles smaller and change direction. Good job. Nice and loose through those shoulders. And getting smaller again. Wonderful. So let's get to the wall. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way a little bit here. So the first exercise we're going to do is a wall push-up. This is a really great exercise if you haven't done many push-ups before. Nice way to stay safe that way. If you are a little more advanced in push-ups, you could go down to a kitchen counter. Something a little bit lower is going to make it a little bit harder. But the hand placement is important. We want our hands to be nicely up from our chest. I don't want you to have them too high. If you are coming up like this, and when you come in, if your hands are up by your head, that's going to put too much strain on your shoulders. You can hurt yourself over time. So try and make sure that when you're coming in, you're nicely at chest height. So you can move your hands if you need to. I'm a little bit wider than shoulder width apart here. And I'm coming in and coming on back out. I can come down a little bit almost. So that's a thing. That's a position position that is adjustable. All right, making sure that our body is very nice and straight here, very plank-like, and you can make this easier by bringing your feet just a tiny bit closer to the wall. You can make this harder by bringing your feet just a couple inches further away from the wall. All right, coming in and pushing on back out. Nice and slow and controlled. We're working the muscles in the chest here. Keeping your body very nice and straight. Feeling that in through the shoulders, in through the chest. All right. Good job. So the next one we're going to do is some lunges. We are going to be moving our feet this time, and I want it to be close to the wall so we have something to keep our balance with. So with our lunges, just like before, I want you to make sure you're thinking about lunging down and not lunging forward, okay? That lunge forward is going to give me problems in my knee. A lot of people complain of pain in their knee when they're lunging. So quite often their form isn't quite right, or they're trying to do a too advanced of a version. So if you're one of those people who your knees hurt, don't go so far down. Just step on forward, come down a bit, and when you come up, I want you to really focus on squeezing that butt and coming on back. Don't go so far down, and I want you to really think about squeezing the butt muscle as we come back. We need to teach those glutes to activate, all right? So I'm coming back with my glute. I'm still thinking, rather than lunging forward, I'm thinking about this knee coming down, and then I'm squeezing up. I hope that makes sense for you guys at home. All right, I have my wall for nice support here. You have your chair nearby if you need to as well. If you want to make this harder, go down further and squeezing your butt as you come up. Come down to where that knee just touches the floor and coming on back up. I'm going to switch to this wall so you guys can see my side view here. I am coming down, and coming on back up. So you can see that I'm not going over top of that knee. I'm not coming this way, okay? It's very much a downward movement and coming on back up. And you guys, I know they're not much fun always, but they do get better the more that we practice and the stronger that your legs get. If you find that really difficult too, you could do the static lunge and just focus on doing kind of a mini lunge and squeeze your butt as you come up, okay? Next, we're going to do a side plank with a side leg raise added into it. If you have rotator cuff issues or anything like that, maybe don't do the plank part of this. Just do the side leg raise. But if you can, I encourage you to try and do a bit of a side plank here. So I'm going to put my elbow on the wall, sort of straight out from my shoulder here. I'm making a nice side plank. I'm making sure that my butt is not sticking out. I'm nicely tucked forward. And I'm going to bring that leg out, coming on back in. Toes stay pointing forward. Try your best to pause at the top and coming on back in. Our torso stays very nice and engaged here. All right. This is a nice one too. You can use the kitchen counter for this if you want to go a little bit lower down. And we are going to feel a lot of this in through that side glute muscle. Try to pause and then coming on down. Pause and come on down. Do it on the other side. I'm going to switch to this wall here so you can see I'm not coming back like this. I'm staying in a nice straight line here and coming on out and coming down. Try to make sure that leg's not drifting forward like that. So we're coming out to the side coming on down. Pause, slowly down. Pause, slowly down. A lot of good work in through that gluteus medius. I talk a lot about him. Very important as far as balancing our hips goes. Okay. Pause, come on back down. We can feel how much work that balancing leg is having to do as well. Good job. A lot of good work we can do with minimal to no equipment. Okay, let's take a little break and do some of our heel toe raises. So you guys have all seen these before. I like to hold onto the wall to make sure I'm not tipping over backwards. So going up on the tippy toes and then bringing those toes up towards you, making sure that you're not sticking your butt out when you're coming forward. Nice and straight in through that torso as you bring your weight back and bring those toes up towards you, activating the shin muscles. If you are prone to getting cramps in your calves, especially while you're exercising them, this is a really nice way to develop strength in the calf while kind of protecting yourself almost against those cramps. Okay, by activating the opposite muscle group, we're taking a preventative measure against those cramps. Okay, nifty little trick. All right, so next one, as long as I'm on track here, is going to be our wall Superman. So this is an exercise that is very traditionally done on the floor on an exercise mat. You can do this on the floor on a mat. I do it on the wall because I know I have a lot of my patients don't want to get down on the floor. Okay, so if you want, do it on the floor. If not, come do it on the wall. We're going to start off in this wall push-up position. Or if you're on the floor, you're just going to be laying directly on your front. And we're going to take an arm. We're going to take an arm, and then we're going to take the opposite leg and extend them both at the same time. So I'm taking an arm, taking the opposite leg, squeezing back, hold for about 3 seconds, and come on down. Other one, squeezing back, squeezing that leg back, the opposite. Make sure you're working opposite across the body here. Another thing to make sure you're doing here is that when we're squeezing this back, it's not just winging my arm back. What I'm doing is I'm squeezing this shoulder blade back and down. So we're activating in down through here, okay? And you're activating this glute muscle. Our body stays very square to the wall. We're not doing this kind of. I see a lot of people do this. And of course I exaggerate. This is a very common one. Work opposite across the body, okay? Squeeze, come on back. Squeezing the glute, squeezing the shoulder blade down, and relax, and do the other side. Really nice way to work across the body, across the back. We're stabilizing the back here. It's a really great little exercise. Try and stay activated in through your core so we're not arching our back here too much. Try and tuck your pelvis in. Oops, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Opposite. And squeeze. Make sure you're squeezing the butt. All right, great job. Next is everybody's favorite. We're gonna do our wall sit. So a few things to make sure you're doing with your wall sit. Make sure your feet are far enough away from the wall. The number one thing that I see is that people's feet are too close to the wall and they come down like this and then they say that their knees really hurt when they do this exercise. Don't be scared to lean against that wall. It can take you, okay? We're going to bring our feet about hip width apart, nice and far away from the wall. And you can adjust your feet if you need to. My hips are going to be against the wall, and my upper back is going to be against the wall. We're going to sink down as far as you're comfortable. Maybe that's just to a slight bend in the knee. That's okay. All right, if you're able to come down a little further, see if you can come to where your legs are parallel to the floor. We're going to hold this sit for a few seconds, checking our alignment. You can see that my knees are nicely stacked over top of my ankles, and I'm nicely against the wall. My hips are drifting away from the wall. They're nicely on the wall. Let's come on back up. You did great. You need to modify this. If you need to come up before, if you need to not go down so far, that's fine. You're at home. You need to pay attention to your own self, okay? Let's do it again. Sinking on down as far as we're comfortable. This time, if you want, you can add a pelvic floor contraction to this. This is a really great exercise to add in a bit of pelvic floor contraction. Really thinking about lifting that pelvic floor up, that inner elevator. Hold, keep holding, and relax. Coming on up. Make sure you're not going down too far with your sit, because remember, you have to push back up. All right, we're going to do it again. Adjust your feet if you need to. We're going to come on down, making sure while you're here, take a look at your knees. Are they nicely out from your hips, or are they bowing in or out? We want to make sure they're nice and straight out from the hips. We like good lines here. Good posture is important. Activate that core if you can. Activate the pelvic floor. There's so many things that we can think about and do in this exercise to distract us from the big work that's going on in our legs. Come on back up. All right, good job. We're going to do one more. We're going to talk about another variation that we can do. But again, if you're just coming down to here, and that's hard enough for you to push on back up, that's just fine. Come on down into your sit, wherever you're comfortable. Now, if you're pretty happy here, I'm going to challenge you to bring a foot into the center so you can take one foot out. All right, hold that. Come on down. Do the other one. Hold. Try not to have those knees glued together. And coming on up. Great job. Okay, that was the wall sits. Next, we're going to get into some postural work. So first thing we're going to do is the wall angel. Thing that I want you to think about with the wall angel is we're going to be squeezing our shoulder blades, not just back, but down as well, okay? So my shoulder blade is coming back and down, all right? So we're going to stand against the wall again. I don't care where your feet are this time, but I want your hips against the wall. I want your back against the wall. You're going to have a natural curvature into your lower back here. That's normal, but your upper back is going to be against the wall. And your head, I want it to be fairly comfortable. Make sure you're not forward here, okay? We're going to place the back of your hands against the wall. I want you to squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. So you kind of feel like you have them pinned down against the wall. And then keeping that squeeze back and down, keeping those shoulder blades down, you're going to bring your hands out to the side, keeping those shoulder blades down. And once you feel like you start to lose them, like you can't keep them pinned down anymore, you're going to come on back and relax, okay? This is a very big postural exercise. If it's enough for you just to work on squeezing back and down, that's just fine. Everybody's working at a different point, all right? If you can't come up very high, if you're just coming up a little bit, that's fine too, okay? So nicely against the wall here, we're going to bring out the backs of our hands against the wall. You're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. And we're going to slowly, keeping those shoulder blades pinned down, keeping those bottom corners of the shoulder blades sucked down along your spine, bringing those hands up. And once you feel like you're going to lose those shoulder blades, coming on slowly back down. Okay? Relax. Give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle. We're going to do this one more time. Okay? We're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. Backs of the hands against the wall. And slowly coming on up. Kind of like a snow angel when you're kids, but not quite as fun. All right, coming on up and slowly coming on back down. All right, give your shoulder blades a little bit of a wiggle. We're going to stay in this position because we're going to work now on our head posture. This exercise is awesome if you suffer from forward head posture, which most of us do because we spend all of our lives doing stuff in front of us. And eventually gravity just takes you there and kind of gets you a little bit stuck. So we're going to work on stretching out these high upper cervical muscles in here, stretching those and strengthening some of our very deep anterior neck flexors and bringing your head from this posture back nicely over your shoulders where it's supposed to be, okay? Now, the wall is my guideline, but you might not reach the wall with your head, and that's okay. We're going to lean against the wall again. I don't care about your feet. Hips are against the wall. Upper back is against the wall. Don't worry too much about your shoulders here, but they should be in a nice postural position. We're going to use a hand on our chin, and rather than having our chin kind of way out here like it is most of the day, we're going to tuck it in slightly. I'm not looking down, I'm just tucking the chin in a little bit, and my gaze is very flat on the horizon. I'm not looking up, I'm not looking down. It's a very flat gaze. Tucking the chin slightly, and then I am retracting straight back towards the wall. I hold, kind of making this very attractive double chin here, and I hold, and then I relax, okay? We're holding for about 3 to 5 seconds. This is a very strong exercise for a lot of people. We're going to use your hand for a bit of guidance on your chin, tuck your chin very slightly, and then retract straight backwards. And if you don't reach the wall, that's okay. I would rather you tuck and retract and not get all the way there than do this kind of hinge. You can see I lost the chin there and I'm just looking up at the ceiling, all right? I don't want that. Keep your gaze flat on the horizon. Chin gets tucked. Imagine there's a string on the inside of your chin pulling straight back towards the wall. Retracting you back, making this very lovely double chin. Hold and relax, okay? If you're just brand new to this, I recommend doing that only 3 to 5 times. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can do it 5 to 10 times. But be careful with that one because it is very strong, but it is a good tool to have in your toolbox if you suffer from tension headaches or anything like that, if you need to be working on your posture and bringing you up into a more upright posture. It will stretch and strengthen things to get you there naturally. Okay, next we're going to do a little bit of modified core exercise on the wall. This time we're going to lean against the wall. I want you to bring your feet a little bit further away again, and instead of going into a sit this time, I want you to think we're going to activate that transverse abdominis. So imagine that you have a corset coming from your back all the way around to the tummy. Imagine that is tightening and knitting together. Activate that. And then I want you to, I have to brace myself with my hands here a little bit. I want you to bring a leg up and hold. So we're activating the stomach muscles. We're holding that leg up. We are remembering to breathe, and then we're coming on back down, and we're gonna relax, all right? Let's do the other side. Get yourself balanced out with your feet here. We're going to activate our corset. We're going to tighten those tummy muscles. We're going to keep breathing. We're going to lift that leg up. We're going to hold. So tight in through the tummy is my first thing that I want. I'm going to hold that leg for a few breaths, and then I'm going to come back down. Let's do it again on the other side. Take a breath in between here to relax, and then activate and lift. Make sure you still have that abdominal activation. You've got that transverse abdominis firmness. Hold and relax. And the other side, we're going to activate the transverse abdominis. Imagine those hip bones are kind of drawing towards each other. And bring up that knee. You're going to hold it for a few breaths. Try to make sure you're still breathing normally. That's important. And slowly release. Okay. Great job. So there's so many different ways that we can take exercises that are traditionally done on the floor and move them onto the wall, do them in a safe way, okay? Let's do our tandem walk. So we're going to add a little bit of movement to our balance exercise today. So this is a great one to do in a hallway because you'll have a little bit more room. I have a little patch of wall here that we're going to do, but this is a tandem walk. So we're taking our tandem stand, and we're adding movement, but slow and controlled movement. You guys love hearing me say that, slow and controlled. So I have my wall, should I need it. And we're going to start in our tandem stand, so standing heel to toe. And we're going to then very slowly walk on a line. If you need the wall, use the wall, okay? Very slow. The slower you do this, the harder it's going to be, okay? If you find this exercise very easy, what you can do is you can add a little bit of movement, a little bit of distraction. I like using a ball, but I don't have a ball here. I have a face mask. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and do a walk while we toss something back and forth. Slowly walk while we toss something back and forth from our hands, okay? And try to keep your glutes engaged, try to keep your hips even. There's a lot of different things you can do here. If it's enough of a challenge for you to just do that walk and you need the support of the wall, that is fine too, all right? If you want to do this while you're changing your gaze and looking around, that's fine. We're starting to do a little bit of a dynamic balance exercise here and adding some movement to balance. Balance is so important, you guys. All right, let's do our stretches. We're going to start off with our calves, as usual. So I plant that heel behind me, creating lots of length in through this back leg. I'm just leaning to the front a little bit. Think about those hips drawing forward. And the other side. We are never going to ask you to bounce your stretches or do anything too crazy like that. I like a good, slow, gentle, static stretch. You're not getting ready for a football game. We're just working on getting those muscles stretched out after we use them a little bit, maintaining a healthy range of motion around our joints. So we hold our stretches at home. You're gonna do about 20 to 30-second holds and repeating 2 to 3 times on each side. Sometimes in the video I'm a little bit fast just for time's sake, but if one of these stretches in particular speaks to you and you feel like you would really benefit from doing it more, do that 20 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times. We're gonna put our hand behind our back. If you have problems with your shoulder and you can't do that, just keep it down alongside the chair. We're gonna bring the ear to the shoulder and just guide with that other hand. Big stretch on the upper trapezius. Other side. Feeling good there. Lots of good work, some new stuff today. Other side. This is a very common one to have a lot of tension and a lot of problems in. Good. We're going to stretch out our levator scapula as well. So instead of putting the hand behind your back, you're going to place that hand on the shoulder. It doesn't need to be super high. Anywhere on the shoulder will be okay. You're going to turn your nose now away from that side. Tuck your nose down into the armpit. Just provide a little bit of overpressure, tipping the back of your head down into that armpit. You can give your nose a little bit of a wiggle. Again, if you find that you're running into problems with any of these at home, don't push into pain, please. We never want to do that. Put your hand on the other shoulder, turning the nose away, tucking down into the armpit. Really great little stretch here. And the other side, hand on the shoulder, turning away, nose down into the armpit. Feeling good there. And the last one, hand on the shoulder, turning away, tucking down. Okay, let's do our twist. I really like to reach back with this back hand to reach for the back of the chair so I can get the chest involved with this one. Really twisting from the seat to the crown. You're practicing that shoulder check. Making sure you're still breathing while you're doing this. Other side. Thinking about trying to look as far behind you as you can. Other side. Okay. And again. Good job. Really working on getting that chest involved with that one. Quite often we're very tight in through the chest. We're going to do our modified lunge stretch today for the front of the hips, for these hip flexors in here. So I like to use the side of the chair for this so I'm not having to work in a full lunge. For those of you who aren't comfortable doing that, we're going to reach behind us with this leg. So I'm fully supported with this leg and this glute. And this side is free and is going to reach behind me. I'm going to show you guys in the side view here. Try not to fall off your chairs. All right. And we're doing a modified lunge. Feeling a nice stretch in through the front of the hip there. All right. Really reaching that leg back. I find thinking about drawing the heel back as far as I can gives me a little bit more of a stretch there. All right. Reaching back. Nice modified lunge. I'm still totally supported in through this leg, this glute. The chair's right in there. Okay. Think this hip is not twisting open. You're keeping this hip pointing forward there. Trying to make sure that this isn't putting strain on your low back. You can lean forward on that leg a little bit if you want. Just think about that hip is still drawing forward and that heel is still drawing back. We're really creating space here. Okay. The other side. And if you are comfortable doing a freestanding lunge and stretching out in the traditional free lunge way, that's fine too. If this is giving you problems and you don't feel comfortable doing it, just wait until we do the hamstring stretch. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, you guys need to pay attention to your own selves at home. Hamstrings, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting nice and tall, hinging forward. I'll show you guys the side view here again. Heel, toe, and hinge. Feeling a nice pull in through the back of the leg. We're very much making sure that we are nice and straight in through the back and that we're not curling forward. I'm not trying to reach my toes or anything like that. It's nothing that exciting. We get a much more effective stretch if we maintain good posture. So plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting very nice and tall and hinging forward. Chest is coming forward, drawing forward from the belly button. Feeling good there. All right, and again, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, hinging forward slightly, and feeling a good pull in through the back of the hamstring. Now, if you are somebody who does not feel that stretch at all, don't worry about it. Some people are naturally very flexible in through the hamstrings. Plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, hinge forward. Most people are not that flexible through the hamstrings, but if you are someone who is, then that's fine. Don't overstretch. We just go to where we feel that initial gentle pull and you just hold gently there. Make sure you breathe into it. If you have any questions or concerns, make sure you give us a call or book an appointment. Ask your doctor to see one of us one-on-one for an assessment if you have any particular issues that you think they need a little bit more attention. We are always here to help you guys. I hope you guys keep coming back for Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock. Remember, once the videos are up, they're up, and you can watch them and exercise at your own convenience. But thank you for joining us today. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.